What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the third episode in a live stream where I'm creating a drum kit from scratch and bringing you guys along for the entire episode. So today we're doing hi-hats, and I haven't seen any hi-hat tutorials. I was looking on YouTube, there's barely anything. So today I'm going to be sharing some stuff that I haven't seen anyone talk about, how to get some banging hi-hats. I've been studying like the Hit 2 hi-hat because I think that's one of the best, most versatile hi-hats, especially for hip-hop and beats in general. So we're going to be going something close to that. And yeah, I'm excited. We're going to be sharing all the sauce. We're going to be going in. I hope you guys are ready. It's going to be dope. Appreciate everyone for coming through. In the last live stream, we took a look at making claps that are versatile in any beat, and that was absolutely flames. So you guys can check that one out next as well. I believe that's linked in the description below. Also, guys, sign up for the early access drops. These are limited, so they only send out one time after the streams. So you're going to get like a bunch of samples, effect racks, and a bunch of stuff to help you make beats and sound design even better. It's completely free, okay? So if you want to sign up for that, link is in the description below. All right. Without any further ado, man, we got to get into this. So the first thing we got to do is understand the hi-hat, right? What goes into making a hi-hat? Well, hi-hats are super simple. Even more simple than a clap, I'd say. Not I'd say, I know. So there's not much to really look at in terms of a hi-hat. It's pretty much just a noise layer, and it descends out. It's very short. So if we take a look at this one, I believe this is the Hit 2. Let me go ahead and put my headphones on. Let me take this utility off just in case. Okay. So yeah, you got the Hit 2 sample, right? I know it says Hat 1. Ignore that. And what is it? It's just noise, and it descends super fast. It's tiny, right? So there's not much to really look at, not much to go over. It's going to be really easy, but how you mix it and how you process it is how you get all of the flavor and all of the sauce, and I'm here to spill it all for you guys. So yeah, it's pretty much a noise layer, and we want it to be very short, and we want it to descend out with a tail like that. So now that we know that, we can actually jump in and start building this thing from scratch. All right, I'm going to be using Serum for this. Since it's so simple, you could use really anything you want. You could take a noise sample and modulate the volume. Go figure. Okay, so let's go ahead and make... Oh, by the way, guys, this is what we're going to be making today. And I'm going to show you how to further... We're going to further tweak this a little bit, but fire, okay? So let's go ahead and jump in here. We're going to get a new MIDI track. And I'm going to steal this MIDI now, okay? But you can see it's a blank MIDI track. All right, let's get Serum in here. Okay. Let me see. Can I make this a bit bigger? There we go. Okay, sick. I think I could even make it bigger yet. Why not? We're in Serum today, baby. Let's go. Sick. Okay, good. I think that looks good on the live. Hopefully you guys can see that. Should be doing this from now on, honestly. This is dope. Okay, so we can turn this off. Oh, first let's slow this. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to turn that off. We're just going to be using this noise layer here. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this LFO right here, LFO1 on the level. So let's bring this down. So it's going to be controlling the level all the way up here. Done. Just kidding. We're going to put it in envelope mode, put it into hertz. And that way we can trigger kind of how long it's going to be. Okay, the higher this value is, the shorter. So maybe something like that. We can start out right there. There's a bunch of different noises in here that will work really good for this. A lot of the white noises, things that are similar to that. So go ahead and play around with these. See which ones you like. Let's see. I want to use... Some of these air cans are pretty dope. I think air can 3. That one right there. You can hear that sounds. Sounds like we're getting somewhere already, right? So you you play with the pitch right here, but we're gonna keep it right where it is at C. And let's go ahead and filter this now. It's like a low 6. I mean, oh, a high 6. Oh, and we got to go ahead and turn on noise here because right now it's not doing anything. That's fine. You can see that right there made a big difference in and of itself. Okay. And I believe that's pretty much it. Yeah, okay. Also, I want to keep this in mono. That's just going to help with any phasing issues or anything like that. You can experiment with that later. Okay. Mono. And then... Okay, we're in business here. Let's go over into our FX, okay? Let's grab an EQ. And really, we can chop off some lows here, but I'm not too worried about this, to be honest. With this part, I want to do a big bump right around like the 7K. Yeah, 6952 is what I have here, but it's right around 7K. Okay, we'll boost this up. I like that. It sounded pretty dope. I'm gonna put a hyperdrive on here, hyperdimension. I call it hyperdrive. Turn this down. Okay, and get a compressor. With attack really high, release really low. Cool. All right. Let's turn the volume up here on the main so it's not blasting so much. And what I noticed about the hit 2 sample is that it sounds like it's between like 2 notes. It sounds like it's between like 49 and 50. But we're going to keep it in 50. That's squared away. And we'll show you how to use like Ableton's shifter so we can play with that. Here's the hit 2. Okay, ours is a little bit longer, you can tell. Let's go back over here. I want to drop this a little bit maybe. Sounded pretty good. Definitely save that, because now you can do some quick tweaks and get like a bunch of different results. So we'll call this hi-hat live, because we is live right now. Shout out to everybody that's in this live. So yeah, playing with the different noises can do a lot, like these air cans sound up. What other ones do I like? The cymbal you could use. You could import your own noise, to be honest. That sounds good too. The shush sounds good. S sound, and then like some of these white noises sound good, the bright white. But if we're shooting for something like the Hit 2, what I have noticed is that this air can thing comes pretty darn close. I don't know exactly what they used to make that sample. Damn, that sounds closer to it right there. There we go. So we'll save that as well. You always want to be making backups of everything, okay? So maybe it was made with something that was closer to this sort of a sound. Okay, and we're going to further process this. I'm going to save this one as well because I like how this one sounds. Sounds pretty close in my opinion. All right, and then call it a wrap in serum here. And we'll just go ahead and freeze and flatten this. Why not? Now we got to clean this bad boy up. So first, let's hear it. Let's actually open serum back up. I want to try to even out the volume a little bit more as we're processing it, because it looks like it's blown to pieces. And then in here, I would call this 2, 1, because it's the same one, but we changed up the settings a little bit. Okay, save that. And then I think that's going to be better for us. Damn, that's close, huh? That's pretty dope. Okay. We're getting close to that, you know. It's not going to be dead perfect, but you never know. All right, let's start cleaning this up. I want to put some reverb on here. We're going to use Ableton plugins for the most part. We're going to use a different EQ, though, so we can get really precise. We're going to be making some precise cuts. Okay, let's get this EQ going, though, first. We'll do a low cut. Turn the pre-delay down. Maybe like, oh yeah, let's play with this density. This sounds good. There we go. Pull this down. We'll come back and dial this in later too. Yeah, that sounds fire. Okay, so now we're going to use a Pro Q3 because we're going to be using the linear mode here so that our precise are even more precise. So we're going to be using the linear phase down here, but I'm going to do this all at the end because it's going to lag things out crazy. Well, actually, we'll test it out. Fuck it, why not? We'll do it as we're going. Let's see. So first, we're going to make a big boost. Right around the 95K, or let's see. Okay. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Okay, cool. That's the first one. And I'm going to be doing these, each one of these things is going to be on a different one. That way we don't clutter one too much. We're going to, you know, process this individually so we can get this right. Okay. So on the next one, we're going to be, on this one, we're going to be doing a little bit more now that I say that. Ha. Okay, so. Okay, I want to make a big cut right around like, yeah, like right around there, honestly. Bell. One thing I want to be doing too is gain staging after each of these, so let's make sure we're dialing that in. Moving back to the first one really quick. So hitting right about 0. Yeah. Okay, so let's go down right here. Output level. There we go. Let's keep it, oh, get it back down to 0. Pull this one down about a dB here. Awesome. Two more. One's going to be cutting out some really high highs. As high as you can get them. Okay. Last one, this one you can experiment with. This is where we're going to boost one last frequency. Let's push this bad boy up. And if you look at different samples, you can see which ones they chose too. If there's like certain characteristics of samples that you like, you can see what they're boosting. Right around the 7 to 8K can be really nice. All right, let's gain stages. Awesome. And I'm going to put a saturator on here because we've done a lot. Put a medium curve. Make it a 6. Now we can play with that reverb if we want to a little bit more. You can go crazy with the processing. This is just the cleanup phase. I'm liking how that's sounding though. Okay, so now that we have all this ready, what I want to do is we're going to change all of these over right here. In fact, maybe I'll duplicate this later just in case we need to go back for demonstrative purposes. So we'll do this, turn this off. Okay, awesome. For this one, we're going to change all these over to that linear phase that I was telling you. Whoops. And that's going to drain the CPU. So we're going to do it all and then freeze and flatten it. Linear phase. Pro Q3. Linear phase. You'll notice it'll introduce a long lag. Let's see, let's actually try. We got 4 of them though. Yeah. Okay, actually not too bad. But let's go ahead and freeze and flatten that. Get in the habit of committing. And from here, you need to get some of that oomph back into it, right? Because we want it to be that transient-y. So you can use things like transient shapers. I like to use the UAD DBX to kind of shape the belly of it a lot. And I believe that's what I used in our example here. Yep. And you can even use a saturator too if you want to beef it up even more. So let's do this. Saturator I've been using a lot is called Saturate. Or I guess I should say Clipper. This is the one I've been using a lot lately. It has a really good detail preservation. I'm going to put this maybe closer to the hard side. Let's try out this DBX. I get the best results with this. So this is a UAD plugin. I wish can I make this one bigger? That'd be cool if I could make that bigger. Be too easy, right? I don't know if I can. Interesting. Anyways. Here it's going to give that snap back into it. Put it closer to that 300 mark there. We can use this to how much do we want? In fact, let's actually pull this down and we'll put this after it. And that way, we'll be using that gain. But let's see, first and foremost, hitting 3 over. I almost think we could put this up a little bit more. Awesome. Let's resample this now. We're not focused on how it looks either. So, okay. So, I also like to introduce like a little bit, something like this at the beginning. Actually, let's not do that. Let's pull it to like here. Okay, cool. Let's consolidate it. I almost wonder, let's use Ableton Shifter, because like I said, it almost sounded like it was between two notes in this example. So if we put this to frequency right here, maybe something to play around with too on the loop as well, on the hi-hat loop, so you can hear it with all the other drums. Awesome. Let's take this result and let's hear how this sounds in the mix too, because that's something as well. When you're using these, you want to be listening to how they sound in the mix. Okay, so let's do this. This chain's off, right? Okay, so bam. Okay, cool. None of this is on. We'll turn this off for now. And what I want to do is turn this group off. Let's hear this. Sick. We could even do something like this. Let's hear it with some drums. Oh, that's filters in there. Let's also make sure to EQ this out as well. Any lows that may have came behind. Let's see. Yeah, we should have used the brick wall when we were doing it before, so now we know. And also, some of this junk here. So this is good. This is why you want to do it while you're testing everything. Sick. Okay, so now we can take this, copy this over, bring it over to our sample here. Zero 9. Oh yeah, that's not the right one. I was gonna say it sounds different. Okay. Paste it here. Sick. We're gonna change this to linear phase maximum. There you go, buddy. One thing I wanted to check too before we did that. Hold up a second. Okay, cool. Perfect. That's fire. Let me freeze and flatten this. And then you just keep further refining it. You can even add a little more attack at the beginning. Maybe we put a little bit more here. Oh no. Command J. Okay, that's cool. Freeze and flatten this, and let's test this out now. Sick. Okay, let's go up to here. We can even put this back. Okay. We could introduce some of this. Well, this one, I just realized we had some latency on this. There, put it back to normal for now. Play with the fade out again. Damn. This got a lot of highs going on in it. Let me see this really quick. It's a melody. Yammering. There we go. So another cool thing you can do is I found, let's try this, the Ableton delay. What else do I have on here? Reverb. And what's this? Because I'm about to delete all this. Okay. Okay, cool. Check this out. Hold up my greens back one more time. Boom. Okay. We're going to find Ableton's delay. Let's unlink them. We can set them both to time, and you can put them like a little bit apart. Put that to fade. And it'll make it sound wider. All right. You could just do like 50%. Let's play with the feedback. Let's see what it sounds like in the mix. It does make it sound quite a bit louder too. Sick. Okay, so we know that works. That sounds really, really good. Let me go back to this patch now because I want to show you guys some ways that you can change it up and make it sound a little bit unique. So now you got a really good patch here that you can use. Did we get rid of the note? Oh yeah, because we froze and flattened that, right? Is this the same thing? Oh, I think it's right here. That's okay. We'll bring it back up because we saved our patch, so that's why you always got to be saving your stuff. You never know when you might lose something. And we'll just put a note on here. Doesn't matter. Okay, bringing this back up. Okay, sick. That sounds good. So, like we talked about, the different noises, you can get some different results, right? Every single one of them is going to be a little different. But when you use these different ones, since it's got like different tonal characteristics and things like that, you're probably going to want to shape it. Some of them you might want it to be a little bit longer, a little bit shorter. And you can always make it shorter in the end, shaping it with like shaper plugins, transient shapers, limiters, compressors, things like that. But yeah, try playing around with those. The organic noises are all banging. You could even like pick where it starts, right? Could do something like that if you wanted to. I haven't tried many of these new ones. Also, like all the white noise ones. Classic, right? Bright white's fire. Also, this one's got potential as well. But, yeah. Should put this back to 0. So yeah, a lot of stuff to play with, guys. So that's one thing. Boop. Playing with the cutoff. I like to make sure I leave a little more than what's necessary. I don't want to thin out the sound, right? I can always take that out later. So you can play around with this. Also, there's some cool filters in here, like comb filters and things like that. You could play around with these. Interesting. I haven't played with these too much. What other ones we got? Scream. Sounds like Mambo number 5. What the fuck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That sounds good. Can play with the shape of the wave. Can make it a little more tighter. Give it more of a full body to it. Play with how short or long it is, and then most importantly in the FX you can go crazy. Like this frequency right here that you're boosting, you can get different characteristics depending on where it's at. Play around with it. That sounds fire. And of course, don't forget to be saving a backup of everything. So here's one thing that is interesting. I've tried, there's one plugin that I like to use on here. Is it the phaser? No, but we'll come back to that. It is the flanger. The flanger could be cool because you can get like metallic effects with this, right? And let's say you put the rate down, the depth down. Sounds dope, but it really does destroy the body of the sound and it fucks up the phasing. It almost gives it like a bell sort of a sound, but you could just mix it into. Something to play around with for sure. The phaser. Holy shit. Let's put it underneath, in fact, because we just did that. That might be really good. Yeah, so these are things to play with. Boom. Something changed. Let's go back. Sounds fucked up now. Okay, let's see. There we go. And different plugins you could use, like things that could work really well. Let's go back here. Just the one. Yeah, that's the one. Oh no. That's the hat too. Here we go. Oh, here, it's up here. Using stuff like Decimort. Bit Crusher. You can get some like old cymbal sort of a sounds using stuff like this. And if you find a good frequency to boost, you can get some really cool effects as well. I mean, this thing's a gold mine for hi-hats, open hats, stuff like that, using a plugin like this. That's starting to sound cool. Let's play with this now. That sounds significantly better. So there you go. But yeah, even like destroying the quality of the sound a little bit, playing with that can do a lot as well. So there's so many ways to get crazy with this. Other ways to make metallic sounds, anything to mix with cymbals to make it sound good, reverbs, things like this. It never ends. There you go, guys. Probably the most detailed video on hi-hats and getting them to sound good for beats and trap beats in particular. Let me know if there's anything I'm missing, if there's any tutorials I haven't seen. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe there's something way better out there. But for hi-hats, man, this is it. Test it out. Let me know if you have any questions. And don't forget to sign up for these free limited drops. Because we're going to be going in. There's going to be a drop later on tonight. We'll just say that, okay? That's as much as I can let you know. In fact, let me open this real quick so we can see this. All right, cool. Get on the website. Appreciate everyone for coming through, rolling by. Mark this video. Come back to it. All the sauce. Yeah, go sign up for the free limited drops while they're free and while they're limited. It's going to be a lot of fun. The last drop was insane. In fact, the effect rack in the last one you could use in these hi-hats, to be honest, but it was for claps. And of course, this is the third episode in a series. Yeah, because we've done snares, claps, and now we're doing hi-hats. This is hi-hats. So the third one in a series. If you guys want to see any of the other ones, hit the link in the description. You go right to the playlist and go to the last video. It's about to be a banger, man. Appreciate everyone for rolling through. There's the soundboard. Appreciate y'all.